So I just finished working out. I just left the gym, and I ended up talking to this guy, not necessarily about network marketing or business or anything like that, but I kind of just talked about like content creation and recording and stuff like that. And it got me thinking, over the course of my network marketing career, one of the biggest things that I see hold people back in building their network marketing business is their lack of ability to speak to a stranger. For whatever reason, people grow up and they think stranger danger, or they're scared to talk to people that they don't know, or you know, they have this thing about them where all they can do is think about how they might look to the person that they're talking to. And so I wanted to talk about that a little bit today and really touch on the fact that talking to a stranger is not as hard as you may think that it is. It really comes down to try, failing, and adjusting, putting yourself in positions to speak to a stranger, and you know, also putting yourself in positions where you're talking to a stranger, not just about the weather, you know what I mean? Like actually talking to someone with an intent in mind. And so my first 7 years in network marketing, I probably met 10 to 15,000 strangers over that period of time. I had, you know, runs where I was meeting 20 people a day. I've had days where I've met over 50 people in one day, just random strangers walking around as, you know, a young adult or whatever. And I learned a lot from those conversations. I learned that, you know, people are just people. They're not gonna, you know, bite you or anything like that. They're just living their day just like you're living your day. And, you know, if I had to really boil it down to anything, you know, first you gotta go out, like I said, you gotta go out and try, fail, adjust. You gotta figure out what you feel comfortable with, who you feel comfortable with. As you talk to these people, you learn more about yourself than you do about the other person. You learn what things in what conversation makes you passionate. Like I've had conversations with people where they'll talk about music and I'll go on a rant and we'll just start, you know, going. Or like I've had conversations where we'll talk about business or social media and these different things that I started to learn more about myself as I would talk to different, you know, strangers or people out in public. But most importantly, for me, one of the things that really allowed me to get good at it was finding different things that were like triggers or reasons to talk to someone. So it's a lot harder if you are just running around and you just like see someone and you're just like, I need to talk to that person. Like that's a lot harder than saying, okay, I have these 5 different things, and if I ever see them, I'm gonna say something about it. So for me, if I ever see someone with an Apple Watch, if I ever see someone with really cool shoes, wearing a suit, wearing a like a sports team logo on their cap or something like that, I will talk to them pretty much 100% of the time. Or if they have like a cool tattoo that I like, I'll usually talk to them 100% of the time. And man, the sun got me looking like crazy. And it's not necessarily because, and I do that because I believe that God puts everyone in your path for a reason. And for whatever reason, when I see one of those different things and I you know, point it out to that person, almost every single time I end up having a really good conversation. Whether that leads to business or not, it doesn't really matter. But the thing is that you just want to get in the habit of talking to people, finding things that stand out to you that you can comment on and bring up a conversation. So for example, if I saw a guy and he has a full sleeve tattoo and it looks cool, I'm like, or it looks like the quality is nice. Like I'm not just running around. If the tattoo sucks, I'm not gonna say the tattoo's nice. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm you know, at the gym or whatever, and I see a guy with, you know, a cool sleeve, I'll just be like, yo, who did your sleeve? Or, yo, I like your sleeve, man. What's the story behind it? And then I'll just let them talk. They'll tell me, you know, about the tattoo. It opens them up. It kind of builds a little bit of trust. It makes things not awkward. The biggest thing about icebreakers is that you're not actually breaking the ice. They're breaking the ice. You're just giving them the pick. The purpose of opening the conversation isn't to be the person who keeps the conversation going. The purpose of opening the conversation is to get that person to talk to you, right? And so I always ask an open-ended question. I always compliment something just to make them feel better. And then open-ended conversation like, hey, what's the story behind it? They go into their story. Oh, that's awesome, man. I've been thinking about getting more tattoos myself. And then from that point, I can then control the conversation, right? I can say something like, hey, okay, well, you work around here? Or what do you do, man? Like, they let you wear that they let you have that tattoo at work? And he's like, yeah, you know, I do X, Y, and Z. Cool. And then I can kind of slowly start to transition the conversation into more of a business conversation versus just, you know, this random conversation that we had at a store, at a gym. And so the only way you can't get good at that by listening to me talk about it. You can't get good at that by reading books. You don't get good at that by, you know, listening to podcasts and doing all this stuff. The only way you get good at meeting people is by going out and meeting them. Like, that's it. There's no way around it. There's no like cheat code, none of that stuff. I highly recommend going out and meeting new people, shaking new hands, meeting strangers, developing your people skills, and finding, you know, 2, 3, maybe even 5 different hooks that allow, or icebreakers that allow you to get into conversations and bring up your network marketing business. And so I hope this video helps. Go ahead and comment down below if you have any icebreakers, and if you do, what they are, so that way you can help someone else out in the comments. Hit that subscribe button. If you need help with your network marketing business and you want guidance and coaching on how to bring in leads into your network marketing business so you can scale over that 20K a month mark, book a call with me below and we'll go from there. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.